Hi people, it's Archivist here, and today I have for you The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt for the PC. And today I want to address the so-called downgrade that the game has received since the original trailer shown in 2013. And what I would say there is that yes, in some ways there have been some compromises when it comes to the visual presentation, but on the whole, when you look at The Witcher 3 in its current state, the game is quite simply beautiful. When you walk through the forests or when you stroll through the towns, you will not be disappointed by the way the game looks. You might have some issue with maybe the performance depending on what you're playing on, but in terms of just how the game looks, it is fantastic. And I might sound like I'm going back a bit there because with Watch Dogs last year, I was genuinely quite annoyed because the game did not look nearly as good as it was originally shown to be. However, the difference there is that Watch Dogs never, when it came out, didn't look fantastic. It looked alright, looked decent, but it didn't look great. The thing is, The Witcher 3, maybe it has gone down a little bit, but it still looks fantastic. As someone who didn't actually look at the 2013 trailer until I heard about this downgrade, I did not care. I thought it looked amazing. I thought, wow, this game, not only does it look really good, but it's kind of got this own style in a way. It's almost slightly cartoony. Some people seem to dislike that. I think it gives it its own visual flair. And also, just forgetting the visuals for a second, although that is chiefly what I'm talking about here, from the 6 hours I have played of this game, it is amazing. In the same regard as The Witcher 2, its greatest strength by far is how it focuses on the nuances of human conversation and interaction. It's not so much about actually being a Witcher in terms of the fighting, although that is there and it is decently fun, but where the game shines is where you will not fight the monster, but where you barter, for example, with someone saying, yes, I'll take down that griffin, but only for a price, and you try and get your price, and it really is more about Geralt talking to people, and the real quality of the conversation, of the voice acting, of the script. It really does come across. I've been watching a bit of Game of Thrones recently, and it feels like it's in many ways on that level. It's even a similar setting in a way. It's quite interesting. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, I would recommend playing The Witcher 3 even more. But hey, that aside, going back to the visuals. Something that Project Red said as well was that because they were releasing the game for the consoles, it allowed them to have a much bigger budget to create a much bigger world. And one of the biggest differences between this and The Witcher 2 is the open environment. Yes, The Witcher 2 had an open world, it had multiple open worlds, but they were all very small and you really had to go down predetermined paths. There were a few open areas, but they were limited. In this game, it's really a case of go north, go south, go east, go west, and you can go in that direction. You just keep walking. If you see something on the horizon, you can go towards it. It's like that. It's a true open world, and in terms of the open world, it feels a lot like Red Dead Redemption, which is a great positive, especially in the way that it captures the majesty of nature itself. It does that in a similar way to Far Cry. I'd say while Far Cry perhaps did a better job purely in terms of realism, I'd say that The Witcher 3, graphically of course I'm referring to now, does a better job in terms of not only having it look good, but also having it perform well looking good. Because the thing about Far Cry 4 is that it was a bit of a performance hog. It didn't really run well, even on high-end systems. However, The Witcher 3, you can get a decent performance out of the game. Annoyingly, shadow play for me is being a bit annoying at the moment, so I can only cut this down to 30 frames per second, but I can get a decent 60 out of it. Not totally constant, but a fair amount of 50 to 60 on the highest settings. But as I say, annoyingly, shadow play is being annoying right now, so I have to show you at 30. But I assure you, I'm using a GTX 970, an i7 Ivy Bridge quad core, 3.7 gigahertz, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and runs absolutely fine for me. Have no complaints in terms, when you look at how good it looks, the performance is just a nice package. Looks good, performs well. Doesn't perform perfectly, but of course it's an open world game. You've got to expect a few hiccups here and there. It's by no means constant. Although there is one issue. For some reason, when I walk slowly on a horse, it does stutter like every 2 seconds, but you can avoid that by not walking slowly on a horse. I don't understand why that happens, but I'm assuming it will be patched out because I think it's a bug, but hey, there's that. Just moving away from just the way the game looks in the wilds, the textures on, say, the human facial models is incredibly good. There is crazy amounts of detail, even on lesser known characters. I mean, to compare it to GTA, for example. In GTA, yes, there's a good amount of detail on the NPC faces, but let's be honest, when you see a regular NPC, you know, as in a pedestrian just walking past, they still don't look that great. Let's be honest, they still don't look that great. They still left some detailing out. But in this game, if you just go up to like a really lesser known quest giver, like someone who will be in the game for no more than 10 minutes, the amount of detail on their face is huge, and you just think they have really put the effort in here. But yeah, this is essentially my message. Yes, maybe a downgrade has occurred, but on balance, this is still one of the best looking games you can get at the moment. If you're looking for something to really show off the power of your PC or the power of your console, because hey, it looks great on consoles as well. No matter what you're owning, this will show what your device is capable of in a great way. So, as always, people, thanks very much for watching and see you next time.